Regresamos con Juarez Gunslinger. El capítulo anterior perseguimos a unos ladrones de bancos pues a este barco de vapor. Uf. Hay demasiados. Uf. Pero qué puntería tan mala. Ah, maldita sea la bomba.
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me. Sounds like you don't give up too easy. That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Salga pues.
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader
pero no es
motioned at a cabin
sospechoso
in the middle of the top deck,
que
pointing
aparecieran
me
así de la nada.
directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. But it turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
Pues sí, no era obvio que era una trampa.
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a fight.
About that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world?
We're talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed good. I don't think it'll ever float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid.
Están hablando del Titanic.
They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. It was time to settle this once and for all. Weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side,
wow.
to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on
Contra
their
dos
side.
personas. Ah. Nos matamos mutuamente. Ahí fue.
Got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds.
Oh.
Paroled 14 years later. He moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of
¿Qué
that
tal?
fateful day. And the tragic death of his two brothers.
Antes de avanzar, pongamos punticos.
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told.
The Wild Bunch. Juarez.
It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming
Malos
for 'em later.
perdedores.
Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead.
Oh.
And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch. I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy.
Butch Cassidy
They
sí
were
lo
a loose
conozco.
association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop.
Bue
I
madre.
assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
Esto es un poco exagerado para robar un tren, ¿no? Oh. Pensé que era por aquí, pero encontré un secreto. Genial. Ah, entonces, ¿para dónde? Ah, por acá. ¿Se fue para abajo? Se fue para abajo. ¿Escopeta? No.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that ridge. What'd you say?
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them.
Wow. Mi puntería solo empeora.
From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route.
Show yourself, coward!
Gracias. Prefiero el six shooter. Al menos tengo daño garantizado.
I would need to get my ass out of there.
Uy.
I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day. mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death.
Ay, estoy con análogos. Ay, Dios mío.
Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
Show yourself, coward!
Times it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Hermoso. Me pregunto. No. Esto no es medalla de honor.
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a
You mean
hand.
like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Ah, como desaparecen.
Who the hell is that?
Si alguien sabe de la historia del viejo este, por favor deje comentarios que sí me interesaría saber.
He's killing everybody!
Hay un coleccionable por aquí, pero ¿dónde? Ah.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they?
Somebody's coming!
Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
Oh. Wow.
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nose Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that.
Ahí fue.
On that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America.
Ah, se fueron para Sudamérica, no jodas. Bueno, se vinieron para Sudamérica.
They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that. I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
That Kid Curry's kinda crazy, ain't he? Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado. Being out outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down.
A veces siento que yo sí les pego los tiros, pero no los registra.
Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts.
¿Qué es eso?
And I found one.
Ah, un mapa.
A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports. Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the wild bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children.
¡Jue madre!
Though
Mi
some say
sueño.
it was only 5.
Tener un montón de hijos regados por el mundo.
Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was going to rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me.
Entonces una prostituta fue la que nos dijo como...
The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards. And I made it a point to remove any dynamite that I came across. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Blow us up now. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Guess there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one. Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
Somebody really pissed this son off.
So, what happened then?
Had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
Pero cuánta dinamita pusieron, jue madre. Eso ya es overkill.
Terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
¿De what now? Ah.
So that was all the dynamite?
Well, funny you should mention that, darling. As actually, there was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear.
Damn, he's fast. If we don't kill him, they'll kill us.
So I proceeded onward. I realized that that way just wasn't gonna work. I needed an alternate path forward. Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me. A
Oh,
long burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it. The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer. I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment.
woo!
Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today.
Dios.
Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge.
Oh,
Well, it was a touching reunion. But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass as I was not a young man anymore.
malditos análogos. ¿Por qué le piden a uno hacer cosas precisas cuando uno está usando análogos? What the fuck?
Kill that SOB. Right here, please.
Finally, I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me.
Crazier than Kid Curry asked me. Nuttier than a damn fruitcake.
Ah, no puedo subir, lástima.
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was
Otra
hidden in
Gatling.
this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
Disparando a ciegas. Qué hijo de madre.
Did that asshole just kill Red? Get out of here!
Epa.
Stupid contraption! That sounds like a kill you! Show yourself, you coward! It's not fair! This is gonna
Eventually, I brought that
Oh,
tunnel
nice.
down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
Alcancé a matarlo.
As he was, I was just a bit faster.
Nice.
And as he lay wounded, I demanded to
Ah,
know the
no lo maté.
whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Sobrevivió.
He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch and Sundance to South America. You ain't
No.
never finding him.
Nice.
Those were his last words.
Bueno, entonces sí lo rematamos. Bueno, voy a dejar este capítulo de Call of Juarez Gunslinger hasta aquí. En el próximo, pues vamos a ver ahora qué. Así que, nos vemos.